6:05, so we will call this meeting to order. And do I have a second to adopt today's agenda? Daniel or Tom?
Second it. Yep,
Okay.
second.
All right, perfect. Thank you. All right, and with that, Tom, I will turn it over to you for the previous minutes or before we jump into owner comments.
Yeah, for the previous minutes, it's just basically advising if you guys have gone through the emails that were sent by the residents who have the Celebration FL emails, and pretty much come up with a suggestion on the options that we can go forward with. The next thing after that is the overview of the camera recommendations, camera placement recommendations by Sean. And if we've gone out and reached to the tech committee members, other members in Celebration for other committees to see if they've gotten need any help from us in the IT world. And that's pretty much it at this point.
Okay. And I'll just say on my behalf before we have some owner comments. I mean, I did appreciate the residents' feedback. You know, Tom and I are very, very pro-resident. We volunteer a lot in the community. We have a lot of people that we speak to each week. And I did get a bunch of feedback from other people. I asked some old-time or residents that I know here about the emails, which I was unaware of. I did get some feedback, and I know a lot of this is conjecture, and I think facts are important. Bill, I think you'd agree with that. And like I heard some comments that people don't even live in Celebration anymore, or are using these emails for work, or using it because of the Celebration domain for different reasons and stuff, which is a little bit alarming to me if that's the case. I mean, you know, to be able to use a domain from us for different reasons, except just for, as some people said, like an amenity or for convenience, because they do like the town. So hopefully we get some more specific information about that. Because again, you know, I did go to breakfast with a few people and got some more information, but again, it's hearsay, a lot of it. And I think, you know, this town gets in trouble a lot by hearsay and crap on the back porch, that people have opinions about stuff that are not based on facts and more based on what they think. So hopefully, Don, we got some more specifics around this, and you know, I'm all about transparency and facts more than you know, some narrative that people like to create in this town.
It would seem to, this is Dan Tomsic speaking, it seemed to me that it would be fairly easy to verify who's a resident and who is not from the user list of celebration.fl.us.
Yeah, that's a good point. Appreciate that. So Dom, I don't know, before I guess we can get some other owner comments if anything else on that topic. You know, as everybody knows, I'm a big proponent for transparency and information, like I said before, and so I think that's really important, Dan, on that point, and to get those details out there. So with that, I guess any other owner comments? People want to express their opinions? Would love to hear it.
Mr. Greenberg, this is Floyd McCollum. Before we discuss things, just to clarify, basically, you know, you all took the domain from us. You stole it, and there are people that don't live here, but that was never a condition of anything. Just because they don't live here doesn't mean they cannot have that email domain. It was ours. You all took it, and now if you want to start putting things on it like that, I think you're going to find that's unacceptable to people that don't live here.
Well, let me stop you. Saying stole it and it's ours. Yeah. I mean, I don't get offended too easily, but just those comments right there, almost like fighting words, like you want to, like somebody stole something from you. I've been a resident for over 10 years. I've only got mine from being on the committee. I've owned a home here since 2009. I bought it from Phyllis Cohen, who was an original lottery member, and I have a lot of friends that are lottery people who bought their home. So it's just all new information for me, and I just want to know what, you know, the specifics are on it. But
were you did you read my email that had all the facts and all the background all the way back to the beginning?
I never saw that email. No.
Why not? Why are we doing this again if you haven't seen the email?
Who did you
Why
send
are
it
we
to?
going through this whole thing again? I
Well,
had
the one-
everything listed out. It was several pages long on the history of the email. I've been here since the beginning. We've had this thing since 1997. We know all about it. We know the history. I've provided the history to this board, to
Who?
CROA,
To whom did you provide it to?
to CROA, just like we were asked to
Well,
Ms.
that's
Gunning.
we're not CROA, right? We're a resident tech committee. So you
Right, and
might have sent
who-
it to Lauren. I didn't see it.
Wait a minute. We were asked to send our stuff to Ms. Gunyon, who was supposed to forward it to you. So you're telling me now that you don't have my email?
Hey, John,
not-
all the
Okay, wait.
emails were
What-
sent and shared several weeks ago. After the second extension, for anybody else who wanted to send any information, we sent out that email to everyone with the shared link to the SharePoint site where all the copies of all the emails are. They're all created as PDFs, and so some people got to read it. In case you did not see
Yeah,
it, let me
actually-
know.
I have, I'm looking at it right now. So I have a email that said a folder has been shared with you.
Correct.
So it was probably in that folder, but all I saw the email was there's a folder's been shared to you. So technically it's been shared.
So
I
sorry,
didn't read
with all due respect, Mr. Greenberg, and I know you're pro resident and I really appreciate everything, but this is the second meeting we've gone to where we're supposed to have this thing resolved by reading our emails, and you haven't read them, and you've interviewed people and had lunch with people. What does that even matter? You have the history in that folder if you indeed got the email, and here we are again going to rehash things. I just don't. It's very frustrating. The number of hours and time we've spent just to try to make you all, not just, and this isn't personal, this is CROA, Graham Manners, and this committee aware, is crazy. And then we sit here again and you haven't read the email. So why are we even discussing it? Why is it on the agenda?
Well, this is a board decision, not a tech committee decision. The tech committee just gives recommendations based on information, right? So I'm just trying to gather information myself. And again, I'm not the chair anymore. Breck is. You keep bringing up Graham Manners there, and that's fine. But our job, to me, being on a committee for the last 4 years, I want to keep Graham Manners accountable, right? That's what I want to do.
Well, we can start with the accountability of Mr. D'Amico making up things and sending it to you. And that's how we got on this whole thing. I bet if you went back and asked some of the board members, they wish he never said anything because he started this without the wrong information. And now this is where we are. Because he didn't know the history and he made statements that were completely untrue. And now here we are. And still, the whole board doesn't know what the history is and hasn't read the emails. I'm not saying to you, I get it. I just don't understand why we keep going over the same thing without you all being aware of what the history was or is.
Okay, can I just make a comment? This is Tom. Dom is correct. He did send a link. It wasn't obvious what the link was. Lauren said that they were going to provide it, and they did provide it. I went through every one, and I think Daniel also went through them also. Anybody who did go through them realizes there's a lot of unnecessary stuff, JPEGs of PDFs and that just have the PDF logo and all that. And actually, Floyd, your email was in there twice. And their emails go all the way back to, I believe it was the 4th was the oldest that I saw of October.
Yeah, I only sent it once, Tom, but yeah, I appreciate that.
I'm sorry. I know you only sent it one. It was not the 4th of October, the 4th of August.
Yeah, August. No, I appreciate that. No. Well, at least I know it's in there.
And
because,
so they,
you know.
so they were all in there. I think, well, we can never be sure that they're all in there, but there were quite a few in there, but it was difficult to determine exactly how many were in there because there were duplicates. So unless we printed them out and then laid them out on, for me, it would require me to lay them out and go through them all and figure out which was duplicates. But yes, whether they were duplicates or not, I read them, every single one. So
Thanks, Tom. So you're telling me the PDFs were attached, didn't show any data on the attached PDFs?
No, it's all there.
Okay.
It's all there. I'm sorry. No, I don't know what those PDF icons were.
Well, that's
You
that's
know,
the
I don't know.
history. That's documented
Okay,
history.
well, no, I
Yeah,
wouldn't. Well, of course, we don't know what isn't present. So,
right.
and I did not even understand why we were getting JPEGs of a PDF logo. And there were many of them in there, but not knowing that those really had content. So that represented content, we wouldn't know that. But
Right. No.
the main bodies of the emails we did I read. I'm pretty sure Daniel also read them. So regardless of the history, um, I thought the actual content of the email themselves was fairly persuasive from the residents who didn't provide PDF attachments. And I take John's point that I don't know why this came to us. We're a technology committee. We make technical decisions. This is really not a technical item as to how it would be more of a technology question as to if whether we were going to store them somewhere or where would we store them or if we were going to do something tricky. But there's nothing tricky about this. This is a matter of what are we going to do with a URL, a domain name. And I don't see it's a technology. If somebody were to ask me as a resident, I would take the unpopular view of just leave it alone and why mess with it. We didn't ask to recover this domain. It didn't come from this committee. No one on this committee that I know of asked to go after this URL and get it and remove the email capability. This was brought to us. So if I were as a resident, a voter, I would say just let it stay as it is, and I don't really care about it, and figure out a way to appropriate the cost to whoever the users are that use it. That'd be my vote.
Tom, it came to you. Yeah, I agree 100%, and it came to you because of Mr. Dorsa.
Okay, no, he did bring it into the committee, no doubt, but it's not a technical issue, Floyd. There's no technology.
I agree. I agree with you, Tom.
Yeah.
But here we are.
So,
We've
all
been
right, we're a
spinning
technology
our
committee.
wheels around because a new employee brings something in and upsets the apple cart, and everybody's going crazy. People aren't reading things. People are making stuff up. And here we are, keep spending hours on this thing. It's ridiculous.
Well,
I know,
welcome to the world-
you know I'm frustrated,
Welcome to
Tom.
the world of volunteering, Floyd. You know, I just wanted to know the information specifics of it. I'm just here again to keep Grand Manor accountable, and you can't keep somebody accountable until you get the information. But we have to be asked, right? We just don't pick things up and choose the things that we want to die on the cross on. Right. We just get asked about certain things. And I just took it on my own to meet with a few people to try to get some more facts than after the last meeting. Right. So again, like Tom said, this is not a decision that we make. We just get asked to review things or give our opinion that then goes to the chair, which goes to the board. And there's just an opinion that comes from our group.
If you're going to hold them accountable, why don't you find out why you don't have the full PDFs in email? I mean, that's ridiculous. This is typical what I find from Grand Manors. This is very typical. Very typical.
Hey,
Floyd,
can you hear me? This is Rick Amick.
Yeah.
yes,
Hello.
we hear you.
I'm sorry. I'm at
Yes.
another meeting over at Disney. I also have a
Okay.
email domain, and I may have gotten on the call a little late, but everything that everyone's saying is kind of disjointed, but makes sense from everybody's viewpoint. If it simplifies it at all, Laura Gunyon had sent out an email that told us all that, reassuring us that we were going to be able to hang on to our celebration email domain. It just was going to go through the tech committee for a recommendation to CROA, I guess, as to how to fund it, whether we pay for it or not. Maybe you've already covered all this, but it was like, it's a Grand Manors was supporting it. It's a done deal. Don't worry, residents, this is going to happen. The tech committee is going to present it to the board tomorrow. No worries. you're going to have your email addresses. I don't know if this has all already been said or not, but I just wanted to chime in for a second to say that is where it was left with us in writing, in emails. I'm done. Thank you.
Yeah, no, we haven't got to that yet on discussion A. So I mean, I haven't spoke to Dom for a month. Again, I'm not the chair. Breck is. Breck is not here. Breck might have had other conversations with Dom or Lauren within this last month. So I don't know. But Floyd, to your point, I just gonna express this. I have 3 homes here in Celebration. I have a home over in Happy Trails and I have a home in Champions Gate. I've never met a homeowner's management company that doesn't overpromise and underdeliver. And I'm sorry, Dom, I'm not taking this out on you, but I deal with 3 management companies and none of them, 0, ever live up to what they say they're going to do. So we can sit here all day and talk about management companies. We can go surf the web and find everybody complaining about it. I think we all know that, right? That none of them over deliver to what they promise. Again, we just have to get the facts and information. I'm support what you're saying. I appreciate everything you're saying. I'm here to help. And this information is valuable. And I think we'll go back as a committee and talk to Breck and try to make sure that we're all on the same page, because obviously you can see we're not. But again, it starts from the top down of shared information.
Right, and you don't even have the information.
Well, I did find the email, and I apologize.
No, I mean, but you're still missing PDFs, which are the historical documents about this, and you don't have those.
Okay, that's a fair point.
From Grand Manners, once again.
We will go over the data that we have that we sent to the committee, and we'll double check, but most likely most of those icons are failed renditions of the original emails, but the original emails are there as well. So if there was an attachment or a photo that didn't get converted, it's probably most likely still in the original email that's in that folder. We can double check everything, but we've read everything, and I am not in any disagreement with anything that anyone has said. I only brought this up not knowing the history, and that's granted. I don't know the history. My job as an IT person is to clear out, clean, make things neat and understandable and documented. So when I only saw very few people in Celebration, and this is me repeating this from last time, is, hey, I brought this up to the tech committee saying, hey, this is a domain that's being not really used. There's only 25 people on it. And if this is a product that was supposed to be given to every resident, then it's not being used the way it should be. Can we remove it? The tech committee agreed, well, that's a good question. Bring it up to the board and let them decide. So that's as far as my knowledge is of how this product worked and how it was provided. And I asked the question and I let it go through. You responded as a resident and we read it. And now it's gone back to the tech committee to come up with the solution. The solution is not to do anything, leave it be. Fine. That's the only recommendation is from management, is to understand what the tech committee wants to do and what the board agrees to do after that. It's just a simple job of trying to clean house and make things more manageable. We can still make it more manageable without affecting you. It's just a product that I saw that wasn't being fully utilized. And that was my job, was to clean it up. Understanding more now, there are other ways we can do the solution. So we're just going through the process and waiting till the last decision is made by the board.
So Dom, I want to correct one thing you said, what the tech committee wants to do. That is, we never tell the board what we want to do. we make recommendations on technology, right? So I don't want
Apologies, wrong
I don't want
words.
residents to think that the tech committee makes decisions like the Recs committee doesn't, right? They don't make who gets to use the basketball courts and the tennis court, right? They just make recommendations to the board. The board makes all the decisions.
Apologies, wrong choice of word, but yes. The tech committee will recommend, and then the board will
Thank you.
make a decision.
Hi,
As
this
the
is
board member and the technical liaison, Mr. McCullum, I have read the emails and I am aware of the history. Thank you for providing all of that. This is the owner comment section. At some point, we've got to come to a close on this, I would think, and get into the actual conversation. As of this moment, no decision has been made about the status of emails. The board has not weighed in yet. The tech committee hasn't given a recommendation. That is where we are. We're in the early stages of this. Thank you for your patience.
sorry. This is Samuel Ali. I've had a house here, owned the house since 2004. I did send an email, simplistic one. I realized I shouldn't have a complex one, 4th of August. I just want to clarify, are we actually getting rid of the domain or suggesting get rid of the domain celebration.fl.us, or talking about the emails that hang off it?
It's the emails that hang off of it.
Yeah, so it's not the domain itself.
No,
So all
not
I
at
said
all.
in my email, apart from, this was actively promoted by Town Hall, and in fact, it was kind of a cute thing to say to me when I was renewing my celebration ID sometime in the 2000s, and I've decided to put everything under this name that's not related to work, that's in the US. So I've had this for that reason. I've kept it for that reason. It's kind of nostalgic in that way. The fact that so few are using it is surprising to me, but so few are maybe using other services as well. And the only thing I said is that we do have to pay for it, which I don't agree to do, but it would be nice to have some transparency in how that was calculated, since I also run my own Google Workshare and Google Apps, and I don't get such high cost, understanding there may be a handling fee. So that's all I have to say on that subject.
The Google Apps for Business starter set right now is $8.40 per user account per month. That is what has happened over time. This used to be a free, Google used to offer Google Workspace for free for nonprofits, but then they stopped that somewhere along the way. So even since 2014, Mr. McCollum, as you have documented, there was a cost associated with keeping this email address because it was going to be hosted and provided on Google by a third party, not the CROA board. I believe Mr. McCollum's contention is this was handed off by the CROA board to a third party. Why are things being talked about, taken back away and removing this service? I think that's the good summary. So, you know, as Mr. Hall said, and Mr. Greenberg said, you know, it may be that the answer is do absolutely nothing, and you all continue to pay a service to host these email addresses for you going forward. But residents have been paying for those email addresses independently of CROA management fees since 2014.
Yeah, this is Elizabeth McCollum, also at the same address, 412 Arbor Circle. The reason that we've agreed to pay for them was because it was hygiene. Basically, it was part of our amenities, and I've talked about this ad nauseum, as you probably remember. But just like a tennis court, the basketball courts, like the firework, whatever, have all the parties that we have downtown. This was part of our service and part of what we were offered when we moved here. When someone on the board a long time ago in 2014 decided to move these emails off campus, if you will, for us to keep them, we had to pay for them. I didn't think we should at that point. I don't think we should now, but we agreed to it just because it was the worst of, or the best of a terrible solution. Frankly, these emails should be provided as a service to the residents as they were in the beginning. The reason that there's so few of them now is because of the shenanigans that happened all along the course of the history of this email. So my opinion is it should be part of our CROA dues, just like every other amenity is, and offered to everybody in the town.
So Ms. McCollum, I understand that it was offered free at one time because the service was provided by Google for free at one time. That service is no longer free by Google, and some form of server infrastructure would have to be set up to continue this at a cost and increase dues to all residents for a service that is used by not that many residents as a whole. So we keep going around this. It used to be free, but it's no longer free. It hasn't been free for a long time. The question before this tech committee is, do we continue with the arrangement that has been set up and we leave it alone and you all continue to pay a third-party service, or does the town hall team reclaim this domain name for email addresses for all the committees and everything else without the town hall in front of everything else? The tech committee has to meet. We hear you loud and clear, read your emails. What we have to have a conversation to decide what we do go forward.
Bill, let me point something out, Bill, and Liz, thank you for that, because I think they should be free. I think it should be part of the fees. Let me give you an example. Tom and I worked our butts off, 2 years ago, Tom, for the digital passes, Elizabeth, for our town, for the Crow cards digital. And our meetings back then, it was free. You can go in and get your card and it'll be free on your phone. And not to us, not our decision, but now it's been decided it's $15 each. That's not a technology committee. We fought for it to be free, and now it's a $15 charge. So those decisions, I want everything to be part of the fees that we pay that keep going up. But the finance committee, people on the board look at numbers and stuff. That doesn't come back to us, the tech committee, at all. Zero. We recommend what we recommend, and then they make those decisions. So I mean, I'm supportive.
But John, there was a hard cost to CROA of $12.50 times 1,000 for those things. Now, the discussion at the board level was, do you get a digital ID or a free ID, a card ID? And it was decided by the board that the physical card is what's given out to residents. If they want the digital option, at least we're covering the cost to CROA. We could increase dues, but people don't like that either. So we're a little bit between a rock and a hard place. We either offer everything for free to increase dues, or we charge more dues. I mean,
I understand, Bill, but my point is, and why I corrected Dom, I don't want people in the town to think their fellow residents who are on these committees are making those decisions about what to charge ourselves, right? We are zero in those costs, right? That's my point. So it's not like the tech committee decided to charge for this. That we never get that passed in front of us, right, Tom? We never get asked what something should be charged. We want. We're just looking at the technology. I want emails. I want our cards. You guys make those decisions, and meaning Grand Manners and the board, on what fees are passed down to the residents.
And we did in that case. It came to the board. We discussed it. It was voted on. It's in place.
Yeah. Right.
This is Floyd again, just not to beat this to death, but and I know, Mr. Greenberg, you haven't a chance to read all the things, but I think one thing you have to understand is we did agree for this domain to be shipped out, that it was no longer part of CROA. And for that, we were going to pay $4.99 or $60 a year. We get 24/7 coverage, which was excellent. Now what we have is trash. Ours goes down for a couple of days. We're lucky if we get it back. A lot of emails have to be sent, and guess what? Then we lose it all. So now you want us to pay double and get the same crappy service that we've had, because we know it's not going to change. It hasn't changed ever since Grand Manners has been doing this. It's not going to, sorry, Mr. Dorza, but it's not going to change. Nothing's going to change. So,
Mr. McCollum, the domain name is under the management of CROA, it wasn't given to any other third party. That domain name is managed, and if you look up the record, it's managed by the Homeowners Association. It wasn't seceded and given to a third party entity. If it was, our current emails wouldn't work. Our current website wouldn't work. We have control of that domain name. Now, the third party service that you're using is not sufficient. That's a different conversation. But the emails weren't, the domain wasn't given over to an email provider, and they could do whatever they want with it after that. So just to be factual about how this stuff works.
It will no longer have issue updating or troubleshooting any email account. They're going to be able to host the email Google in order to keep email counts. Blah, blah, blah. The Celebration email domain will no longer be available via Town Hall. This is our agreement.
Yes, the Town Hall team is not managing the email accounts. But Mr. McCollum, we're going round and round here. I would like to move forward with this agenda and actually hear what the proposal is from Dom. and let the tech committee give their recommendation so I can tomorrow night at a board workshop pass that information along to the board and the board can make a vote. You have been heard loud and clear with email in now 2 meetings. We understand your position.
Sorry, I mean, you know, with all respect to Mr. Greenberg, he hasn't read the emails. So no, you don't have a board that totally knows what's going on, Mr. Long.
As Mr. Greenberg stated, the tech committee gives advice, the board votes. As a board member, I have read your emails.
Yeah, I know, but you're asking a tech committee member who unfortunately has not read the data, and some people have not seen the attachments, Mr. Hull, and yet you're going to ask them to make a recommendation and take it to CROA. That
I
really
actually
sounds,
think
that
the
sounds good.
Mr. McCollum, I think the recommendation is going to be let this issue rest, and you will be satisfied, and we will move on to another topic. But we can't get there because we keep rehashing the same things.
Bill, I'll end this right now. Are you available tomorrow at lunch at Artisan?
Yes.
I will make, Floyd, I'll make sure I read those tonight now that I know what that link is, and I'll go meet with Bill tomorrow. And again, I'm not the chair, Breck is, but I can go meet you, Bill, and at least I can look.
John, we may not even need to have that meeting. Let's get through owner comments and then get onto the agenda and see what the board is recommending. Because if the board is recommending keep things as is, then there's nothing to discuss. I mean, it's a chicken and the egg here, right?
Fair. Yeah.
We have burned a good, from the last meeting and this meeting, we've probably burned a good hour of this tech committee's time rehashing the same issues. So
that's okay. I think people need to be heard. I appreciate Floyd's comment.
Let's hear the recommendation, gentlemen. Let's hear the recommendation, please.
I think he's trying to follow the process. The agenda is, this is owner comments. We're in the owner comments section. Bill is asking that we get done with the owner comments, get on to adopt the agenda, and then the first discussion topic is this, at which point we will make the recommendation.
Okay, so any other owner comments not related to the email, which we're going to hear about under the discussion items? Okay, thank you, everybody. All right, okay, so now so I have a second to that. We already adopted the agenda, so now let's move on to discussion items. And please, let's discuss on number A on discussion items on the email.
All right. As we already know, not everyone had a chance to read all the emails that have come from our residents. The recommendation that we discussed originally was either to forward their addresses, option 1, forward their addresses from Celebration to their Gmail accounts. Second recommendation, I'm not the finance person here. Second recommendation is the costs be forwarded to the resident. Third recommendation is do nothing and go from there. And that's what I have to offer. Those were what we suggested originally as well. Hopefully, tech committee can recommend anything else that we can try to do. If not, we do nothing.
Well,
Hey,
I gave my
homeowner here with the domain, Rick Amick. As you go through these recommendations, part of what might be an issue, I'm not sure, and I'm sorry, I'm in a very loud place here, is that I seem to be picking up through the emails from others that are using Celebration domain, such as myself, that we aren't all receiving our email through the same services, and that may be where some of the hiccups are. I don't know if it's all Google centric, and because of that, I'm not sure if you're dealing with a full deck here, but I could be wrong. I'm not a tech guy. I'm done talking.
Email has one recipient, one server provider. It's not split among Microsoft, Amazon, Apple, and Google. It's provided by Google. The quality of service with that needs to be taken up with the provider that's actually providing you that service. This
And that
committee
provider,
doesn't do
and
anything.
that provider is Google, correct?
That provider is a reseller for Google.
Not anymore. It's back to Google. Sorry, it's Google and being paid through us because the third-party provider went out of business.
Well, I may make some of
Some
my
years ago.
fellows, I may make some of my fellow residents cringe here, but I have absolutely no issues with my Celebration email account, and it is backed up by my Google email. So I don't know if that's the magic of this, but I have lost no emails, no communications. It's worked perfectly, just as we are. I can only speak for myself. I mean, other people may disagree with that. And that's why I was wondering if maybe we're getting the services like some, I don't know. I'm not a tech guy. Maybe they're not getting it straight from Google or whatever. I don't know. But I have no issues with it. It's working great. And just like some of the other residents that have had it for 20 years, to go in and change my email address with all of the millions of entities that I deal with now is a nightmare. So I really need this to stick. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so Bill, out of those three options that Dom talked about, so we have not been asked as a tech committee to vote on any of those three, and which three. So, I mean, Breck would need to lead a conversation with us off this call, either through email or on a separate call, to which one we approve or suggest.
Yeah, we can table this for tomorrow's workshop, so it's fine. We don't have to take any motion that would change anything at this moment in time or tomorrow at the workshop.
Yeah, but at least now nothing's being taken away from anybody. It's just conversation.
No, it hasn't been the whole time. Yeah.
I just want to step in again and say that in reading responses from various residents, there is some paranoia going on that's understandable. And that's why we're chiming in here looking for full disclosure. I'm not saying that you're not. I'm just saying that there's this, not trusting the system at the moment. And whatever we go forward with, everybody's got to be comfortable with and trust it, and it's got to work.
Yeah.
For me right now, it's working. I understand the problem that Grand Manners has and Laura had. I was at the meeting where she brought it up some time ago to the board and said, we've got some outstanding residents here that are receiving a service that was taken away. And she was just trying to make it known to the board. It keeps resurfacing. So those of us that have the service now are concerned about transparency. That's why you're getting a lot of, and some people are concerned about costs. So that's why you're kind of getting some of the pushback you're getting.
Sir, I understand. This is the second tech committee meeting that this has been the dominant topic of. We understand what the residents are concerned about. As a board member, I've got to vote and recommend to the board which way to go. What I would like is a recommendation from this technology committee on what they think should happen. I think that's not going to happen tonight. And so all I'm saying, and all I commit to you as residents and me, a fellow resident, we're not changing anything at this moment. So everybody can take a deep breath and step back and go, nothing's changing right now. But we have gone through, and I understand you've depended on this email address for a long time. I get it. I'm an IT guy by training. I have Google accounts myself. I pay monthly for certain things. I understand how this works. For now, we've got to move on to the next topic with a commitment to the people on this call that we're not making any decision about this tonight.
And that's a perfect answer. My point is that as you table it and move forward, the transparency needs to still be out there for us residents as you move forward with it, of which I'm sure that you will accommodate. Thank you, sir.
No,
John, back to you.
and thanks, Bill. You know, again, it's funny. Tom and I had this a year and a half ago. I'm sorry to get a little tangent here, but we had numerous residents complaining about the chargers down at Lakeside Park. Tom specifically ran all these numbers. People, oh, nobody's using those chargers. We had 400 some people using them, right, Tom? At least a month on them. And we ended up listening to the residents who wanted more parking spots. We got rid of the chargers. What happens now? We get nasty emails that there's no charging down in Lakeside, right? So, you know, we always try to do the best for everybody, and there's always both sides of that coin that people want, people don't want, you know. And I personally got in an argument with somebody who wanted those parking spots right by the pool. And I'm like, there's 8 spots by the basketball court. You can't walk 20 feet. They just wanted the chargers gone, right? So I think even with the email, it's important, and I'm glad everybody's feedback. And let's move on. And thank you for the feedback, because when we do end up voting, Floyd, it is important to hear your thoughts and opinions. And I apologize for missing that email, not knowing inside the folder was those emails. So I promise you tomorrow morning, I will read them, and I'll get a hold of Bill.
Yeah, I didn't see this on the CROA agenda for, what is it, tomorrow night? So when is this going to the board? I'd just be
The
curious.
workshop. It's only a workshop, right, Bill?
It's going to the workshop tomorrow?
It doesn't necessarily.
My commitment is that if it comes up on the workshop, I will recommend to table it. If it comes up at the next board meeting without a decision that's been communicated to email holders, I will commit to table it. Is that fair for everybody? Does everybody agree that you will understand our move before the board votes on something?
That's good.
Okay.
So we don't need to
Thank
attend the
you.
meeting. That's great from us.
No.
Thank you.
I mean, I'm very clear on the McCollum household view. Very clear.
Thank you.
I am not able to participate in the conversation tomorrow. I've already made my vote known. So, and I find it hard to believe that I will change it even in a month. They don't lose the celebration.fl.us emails, period. How it's paid for, it's a financial decision. You guys at the board decide that. But we maintain the emails that they were given on day one. That's my vote, and it's not going to change next month. Of course, I'm just one guy, so you guys can have the conversation tomorrow and decide.
And I agree with that too, Tommy. You know, I just have one voice as well.
Yeah. So there's 2
Daniel,
votes
your
right
thoughts?
there on what.
Yeah, the first time I thought about it was like would be easier to just forward the email to somewhere else. But I've read the emails, I've seen the folder, and I know that once you have the email and start to use that on other services, is very hard to change. So I think it would be easier to just keep those emails for the people who are using it. But the only one thing I would suggest is not have more people using these emails, because that would create more problem in the future. I think that's just my recommendation as a tech person, but I think I would stay with those emails for the people who are using it.
So Bill, do we need to, in your interest of time, believe me, nobody wants to close out this topic faster than me. I just want to get this off our plate. Can't we just there's 3 of us, we have a quorum right now. Can't we just take this as a vote that we just voted on it? And then you guys do what you want at a CROA level to figure out who pays for what and how the finances are handled. We just had 3 of us in the committee, which is a quorum, say that we want them to keep the email addresses as is.
Yep. I hear you loud and clear.
So it's off it's off our plate then. It's not on our agenda anymore.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to put a motion. Our recommendation from the tech committee is to keep the residents keep using their emails and not be taken away from them. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, so vote. Everybody approve, say aye. Aye. Anybody disdain or doesn't want to approve it? Okay, 3-0, keep the emails for residents.
Thank you for your vote. I appreciate it. I will communicate that at the appropriate time. Thank you.
Okay, Dom, digital signage.
But before we go to digital signage, real quick, sorry, Bill, then, with the decision to keep, is there?
Recommendation, not decision.
Sorry,
Recommendation.
the recommendation to keep, though, then you and the finance committee will then decide how the billing will go through.
Yes, we can talk about that. In the interest of letting sleeping dogs lie, whatever the arrangement is now, we should keep it. If there's a payment coming in to maintain these email accounts on an individual user basis, my thought is it should stay that way. If this is a select amenity that only a few people are getting and the rest of the community is paying for, I don't see that as fair either. So, especially since paying for these email addresses and the maintenance of that system has been in place since 2014, that would be my recommendation. And I can tell you from the gentleman and lady on the finance committee, they are definitely not interested in spending any more money than necessary to make our dues go up, having sat through the 2026 budget process.
So, Mr. Long, so now is it back on the workshop and you are not gonna, you're gonna make that recommendation? So now we have to come tomorrow night for this, is what I'm getting?
Mr. McCollum, if I can get your personal phone number and text you when that meeting may be, I will be very happy to do that. You can reach out to me later. I'm not making a recommendation right
Tomorrow
now.
night
I'm not
at the
making
workshop.
I'm not making a record. I will ask to kick the can down the road tomorrow night. You
Okay,
don't have
that's
to
all
come.
I'm asking. That's all I want to make sure, because now there was a vote with basically their vote. So if you report that vote, that sounds like that's a conversation. No?
The vote has been done.
Uh-huh.
The board has to decide. There is another additional feature, which is payment of said accounts. My thought is that the payment system should stay as is. It's just a thought. Nothing has been decided yet. Not
No, I
on
get
an
that.
agenda anywhere.
I know, I get that, but that's what I'm saying. I don't want it to pop up on the agenda and we're not there. That's all I'm asking. If that's what's going to happen, that's fine. No need for having more people show up in a meeting unnecessarily.
You have my commitment that any meeting I'm in, until we've figured something out that has already been communicated to you in writing via email, it will not be voted on at a board meeting.
I wasn't looking for a vote.
On.
I was looking for a discussion.
No.
Okay, it won't be discussed. That's great. Thank you.
Back to you, John.
Okay, so we can move on then to Dom for the digital signage.
All right. Hi, John. All right. So for digital signage, I brought this up last month. We didn't get much time to talk about it, and I don't think we'll get much time to talk about it today as well. Basically, I sent in the email with the agenda. You'll have the locations of where the current billboards are. So basically what I'm looking for is suggestions, recommendations on TV styles, machines, devices, anything you think of that we can use as a digital display. The comms committee would like a new way of putting these communications out, something with digital, something with probably revenue making over time. We can, have the local companies pay for, ads on these on these display boards. Obviously, one of the reasons why I like the idea when the comm committee came up and said, "Hey, we want something like this," is God forbid we have a hurricane and it comes to our way and it's actually going to hit, and people are, being Floridian 5 years now. I take my chances. Then there might be people out there who will take more chances than they should. I'm looking at, well, hey, it's time we get an alert system. And with these digital display boards, we can use it also as an alert system for emergencies. God forbid something happens. Celebration is a quiet town, thankfully. and nothing crazy ever happens. So that's one of the reasons I would like to use that for just for in case something happens, lost child or, something like that. And then all the other added benefits that the comms committee wants, and also the Parks and Rec staff. There's a good cost savings. I know there's an upfront cost for putting these machines out there, but there is a return on investment where we can reclaim staff time, and the staff from the Parks and Rec Committee could do other things to keep their parks clean. And that's pretty
Just a-
much it.
Clarification, Dom.
Mhm.
Did you say that you sent us a list of where or?
Yeah, so in the email with the agenda, you should have as locations that were given to me where they have the current boards,
Okay.
billboards. So if you guys
Yeah.
want a architectural drawing, like maybe a Google map drawing of where they might be physically, but I mean, they pretty much explain where they are. So if you've been there, you
No,
know
it'd
where
be
they are
no,
exactly.
I'm sorry. I didn't see that. What I saw in there was this agenda. I saw the dog park camera part. I didn't notice that there was a third item in there, but all I would be interested in, maybe these guys would like to see more, but I'd like to know some basics. Where is it going to be? Is it indoor? Is it outdoor? And how big does it need to be? And could we get the input from the comms committee as to what they actually wanted to do?
Yes, that basically what I said. There's basically what they want is to replace the current notices that we put out on paper from board to board to board. And that's the Parks and Rec team as well, who wants a digital version of these notices to be out there. And then whatever else we can use them for, emergencies, ads, or anything else. And then the size is up to us. They don't know what size they want. They don't know what technology to use. And I gave them a sample of what we can do, which is at Lakeside, which is what we're doing today. And our new communications manager, she's very artistic, and she's been updating the board and keeping it up to date and putting it better, more interactive and more eye-catching instead of the boring, constant, repetitive screen. So we're trying to change what's in there, like either on a monthly basis, so that we can keep people saying, "Oh, there's something new. Let's see what that is." So, and being the billboard, being the, just standard static information, we can split the screen that we currently have with static information that needs to stay, and it could rotate on a time, or it can just stay static depending on what the information needs to be. That was one of the ideas, and since it was a free product, I said, hey, let's try it, see what you guys think of it. And now it looks like it can span out to be in other locations. So I was like, all right, I need your guys' input and understanding on how and what's best to be put out there, because you are the residents as well as tech guys. What can we put out there?
So Dom, let's just take a step back real quick. I think
Yeah.
we've been discussing this for 3 years before you or Bill were even around.
Okay.
Bill was around. Bill's not a tech committee. I mean, we've discussed this at length about who makes the decision about information, right? Tom argues, and I sort of agree with Tom, that that's not our job to talk about what information should be shared with the public. If you guys decide that that's what you want, and then you want to ask our group for an opinion on a display types and sizes, that's one thing. And I agree that's probably something our committee can make. I mean, I've argued for 3 years, and Tom knows this, he might not agree with me, that you see displays, and Disney's getting rid of their displays. They're going the opposite way. These are expensive. You have to maintain them, management, people on call. I proposed numerous times just have QR codes posted around town that people use their phones and iPads and whatever else they have to get the information on their own device, instead of paying for these things all over the place. Again, that's not my decision. That's just my opinion. But we've discussed it numerous times over the last, 3 years, Tom, about this. So I think that's another committee's role if they want to, if they want to get digital signage and monitors out there. And the weather ones are really expensive. You're talking like 10 grand for ones that can be outside in the weather, to Tom's point, rather than one that was sitting in 851 before. That was, by the way, never working. Right, Tom? That thing sat there and didn't work, had a blue screen on it or whatever. And I think, Tom, you challenged many times, why is that one not working? It's just sitting there. So again, I think the so Bill, the information committee or communication committee would decide that, right? Not us.
What's
Correct.
on it? Yeah, that's fine. That's, yep. I guess because I answer to every committee, I'm putting everything in my head, and then it's like, well, I want other tech people's opinions as well, because I can't make this all on my own. I can, but it's not worth.
I think all the hundreds of people walking downtown Celebration, if you had strategic QR codes on a little sign, say all information up to date on Celebration, put your phone up and do the QR code, you can get as much information and change that, you know, dynamically at will.
Yeah, we could do that as well in these digital signs where, with the advertisements, where they have some of the advertisements going on, we can put the QR code for the static information so that they can see it directly at Celebration FL's website. Yeah, you're right. That's not bad. I mean, I'm going to put that down as well, because they did think about that. They just didn't know where to post them and make it useful where people will actually look at it.
You know, and I've said before, I'm very active on the tennis courts, the volleyball court, the basketball courts. People always question rules and stuff. And I've talked to Nikki about this. I mean, hey, put up your phone, scan it. There you go. There is the rules right there. You can argue with me all you want, but here are the rules.
Yep. Okay. So basically, the help then taking out the type of information we're going to put on there, what type of screens, and it's mostly going to be inside. If you're looking at some of the buildings where you have the breezeway, so it's covered. So it's not going to be officially fully outside, but it is outside. But it's going to have a roof over it. So basically, we need something that will endure the weather. I mean, if you look at the TV at Lakeside, it's been running for the past year, day in, day out. And it's not even a high-end TV. It's just a simple TV, and that's encased in a plastic box that don't have working fans, and it still works, but it's covered. At least it's covered from Mother Nature. So my idea was to find something that was simple and that we can repeat it easily in multiple locations and make a standard. So I would like to have your guys' buy-ins and figure out which would be the product and the tool, and then we can bring it up to the comms committee and then towards the board to spend on it. And then also the one other one is, I brought this up before, it's that bloody old-fashioned marquee. So that one has to go up to the Disney board, the Disney people. But again, we need to recommend a device that will make them happy. So the caveat that they want, it has to be dimmable, and it has to be not so bright at night. So obviously the dimmable part is what's going to help us on that piece. So if we can come up with a TV that we can put in that marquee, and it can be set to a dim view, and it doesn't affect our residents across the street, I think Disney will go for it, because they have those signs all over the World Drive now. So
is this the one right across from the diner you're talking about?
No, the town hall one is the
right,
the one at town hall.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
That's the marquee
All right.
one. Yeah.
Okay.
Right now we're changing letters every so often to try to and it's got holes in it and it doesn't stick.
Yeah. It's an insult to a community that has technology as a pillar.
Yes.
To have that.
So that's why I want to change that as well. And the tech committee would like to be able to change. Sorry, not the tech committee. The comms committee would love to have changed that.
Well, yeah, I think we would all like it changed. We have to understand what the rules are. At one point, we were told that LED displays, and I don't mean backlit LCD displays that are backlit with LEDs, but I mean LED dot matrix, if you will, displays were not permitted. Now, if if that rule is relaxed and that opens up, they make them in all times of fine resolutions, so small that you have to be on top of it to even know that it's discrete data, LEDs.
Mhm.
But if that's an option now, then sure, I mean, you can go as big as you want.
We
Um,
needed to fit in the marquee that's there now.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
that's big though. That thing's big.
Yep, I think it's 55 inches, maybe 65-inch TV might fit in there.
Okay, well, that's certainly within the realm of an LCD display. 65, we could do that.
Yeah, I'll have to go there with a measuring tape to do a diagonal measure.
And you hear there's a distinction between LCD and LED. I'm talking about
Yes.
LCD backlit with LEDs.
Yeah, so that one I would leave up to you, Tom, to give me a good device recommendation on that one, because you know it better than I.
Okay, yeah, we had a vendor come in and look specifically at that particular location and put a proposal on the table. I'm not looking for vendors, but we can certainly look for technologies, and you can go look for vendors. I don't think that's that difficult. If they're going to buy off on having something that's lit up out in front of town hall, that opens up a whole new window of opportunity that we did not have before. The dimming part is no big deal. We can make it as dim as they want. We can make it black.
Yeah.
So the auto dimming is now pretty much a standard feature, just like on the TV that's in your living room. So that is not a problem. These are not, by the way, these are not TVs. These are digital displays, and they have specialized cooling. I know I said this the last time. I just want to make sure it's sitting in. We're not going to Best Buy or Costco and buying a TV and putting it up in the box. It's a specialized display with special thermal properties built into it and storage capabilities to store the content that you're referring to. So it's not a TV. I'm sure it shares similar components, but it's more than that. And they come in 7x24 capability, like we have at the clubhouse, where the thing is on day and night every single day, and it's been that way for 2 to 3 years now. And it's running along just fine now. And granted, that's an indoor unit. Outdoor, that's a different environment that we would need to look at. But I'm reasonably confident we could come up with something. That's a pretty big box out in front of 851. Again, this falls into category where we need to know what it is they're asking us to do, and then we'll do it. And now that we know 851 display is one of the items, I can look specifically into that. I didn't even know that was on the table.
Yeah, it was discussed, and then I brought it up, and because I remember, God, what was that lady's name that was in the committee before?
Krista
I'm sorry?
Thompson?
Krista?
Krista, I think it was Krista. And she said, you need to talk to Disney about that. So we discussed it, and they said, well, bring us the technology you want to use, and we'll approve or deny it. So I know it might be a wasted effort, but I mean, they're saying, hey, let's bring it to them. So, I mean, that's better than a no outright.
Okay, all right.
Well,
But
one
that was
thing I
one of the
might
stipulations.
suggest,
It's got to be dimmable.
yeah, one of the things I might suggest is that we have some kind of UV protective glass either in the screen or in the box that the screen is going in to help give some longevity. If you've gone by any fast food places with these LED screens, when they get in the sun, or LCD screens, they get in the sun, they bake and warp and all kinds of stuff. I think a little bit of common sense protection up front could help.
Yeah, this is a road well traveled. If I could pull my phone off my charger here and take a picture right outside my window, these things are all over the city that I'm in. They're everywhere. There's hundreds of them. So this is well traveled route. We're not inventing anything new here. So the UV protection, we're in Houston. There's plenty of sunlight in Houston. So yeah, they know about guys that design these pieces of equipment know that there's UV rays coming down. So we'll take that into consideration, but I think they know that if it's outdoor. And we also know that we have windstorms. We're in Florida where we have hurricanes, so we have to be capable of handling wind stress. Vandals, we got to worry about vandalism, people throwing rocks in them. There's all kinds of technical parameters.
Okay. All right, I think we discussed that one enough.
Mhm.
So again, I think it starts with the communication committee, right? And then the technical part of it will come over to our team. Dog park cameras.
All right, the dog park cameras, I can bring up the PDF. Give me 1 second. I am bringing up one of them. He does have different recommendations, but camera placements, I think, are about 99% the same. So basically what he's asking to put out is instead of single directional cameras, we put in 180 view cameras, which is fine. So this is one of the placements. Okay, this is real slow. Okay, and then here we do have one camera facing in an angle currently. So what I'm going to do is with these pictures he has, I'm going to try to get a better picture of what was recommended, what is recommended by Sean, and if we agree with the placements, I'll need to go back out to Andrew and the 2 other companies for quotes on, because of the placements of the cameras are slightly different than what we recommended, that was recommended before by Andrew and others. So we'll put that there and we'll figure that out. So I will resend what I posted using the UI tool. I don't have an access tool. So basically it's the same idea. It just shows you the camera placements. And if you guys agree with the way he has the camera placements or how I have the camera placements by recommendations, makes no difference to me. It's now figuring out the costs and what changes we need to make with the vendors that we currently got quotes for from the original placements. And granted, some of the placements is still the same. There's some just changed additions. I think this is the large dog park. And it's just the camera placement. One is in the same spot. This is currently already there. This one down here at the bottom of the dog park is already there. It's just changing the current camera. This one is new. So I currently had it placed in this area. He's recommending it there, which is fine. Either or placement is fine because you'll catch either or. But the amount of cameras is almost exactly the same as what we recommended before. So there is about 11 cameras in total that he's recommending. It's just the placements of where they are and the costs of the devices that he's recommending. I'll have all the numbers posted, put out from the different makers, Unify, Access, and I think one other NDAA product, and we'll go that way. I mean, obviously Access was pretty much the bigger contender. So I can do that or Unify. What else is there? So here's his count of cameras. It's a total of 11. The types of cameras are just slightly different than what is recommended. We do have, these 29mm cameras. Those are the ones that are going to be facing, let's see if he has it in this picture. Yes, he does. So in this corner here, it's an additional camera that's going to be facing the entrance in that corner. And it's going to duplicate that on the other side as well here. So I will get you all the information so that if you guys want to meet at Artisan and we could go over each one and understand each piece, and we'll go from there. And I think this is a good way to do this in person. and just looking at the pictures together and have a unified discussion. And we'll have everything in front of us, so that will make life a little bit easier, and we can fill our bellies at the same time.
Okay, I just make a comment for, I don't want to preempt you, John, if you were gonna say something.
No. This is
I,
your
I've looked at this proposal thoroughly. And you know, it looks great to me. It looks fine. I have no personal feeling about the number of cameras. I thought that the original number of cameras that you proposed was excessive, but it turns out it isn't. So I was wrong about that. That what you have there, the 11 cameras, I agree, is what's needed to be done. I think some additional things, and by the way, I agree that we should just sit down and go through all of this. But we need to expand the conversation, because there's some other components of this that we need to address. And what I'm referring to is, you don't see my cursor. I'm talking and I'm circling an item, but you can't see what I'm circling. The box that all of these cameras come to.
Yep.
I looked at I've been over there 3 times in the past week and a half, with Andrew once and then twice by myself, looking the box, the stuff that's in the box. A lot of the stuff has to go. That box is not environmentally sound. The fan isn't even working on it.
Yeah, we ordered a new AC, but that's
okay.
That's not even going to be enough, Tom. Believe me.
Okay. My view on this is that no server belongs in this box.
I fell when I saw that server in there the first time ever.
Okay, so no, I'm not blaming you, Don. This is here way before you. I'm not saying it's your
this
fault.
is 5 years old.
But I'm saying now that we're aware of the situation out there, anybody who hasn't been out there can go out and take a look. Now I think it's like everything else. You don't want to look at something because you'll find out you have to now do something. So this was a classic case of it was better not seeing it. But now that we know that we've got to do something different inside that box. So the server has to go. The switches need to be upgraded. My guess is that there's fiber coming to that box from Smart City, and therefore you got a router in there.
Yep.
And that router is probably a UniFi router, which is only rated to 40 degrees C, which is 140 degrees Fahrenheit. So it doesn't belong in that box. And so I went out with Andrew, and we've done considerable amount of work. Now you don't have sharing enabled, so I'm not sure why you wouldn't have sharing enabled in a committee meeting. But I can't share with you what we're looking at doing.
Yeah, you should be able to share.
It says sharing is only meeting organizers and presenters can share.
Aren't you a presenter? Why aren't you a presenter?
I don't know. I'm logged in with my town hall email.
Hold on a second. Where are you, Tom? Here you are. All right, hold on. There you go.
Okay.
Don't know why you're not a presenter.
Yeah, okay, it's fixed now. So been having some conversation with Andrew, who I know is working on the cabling for this.
Yeah, he's one of the vendors because of the cost. He's one of the vendors.
So just taking your point that we need to get together and talk about this. We'll just so that you're not blindsided, I'm showing it to you right now, and then when you can stew on it, and then we can come up with alternatives if you have any. But we need to get rid of all that stuff that's in the box, and so we put together this proposal as to how to do that. And I'm not going to take us through, because in the interest of time, we got to end this meeting in 10 minutes. So in the interest of time, we can't go through go through it, but we put together 3 different options as to how we can do everything that it says on this overview. One of which is to get rid of that fiber connection from Smart City, because I'm sure that's costing us. I don't know how much, but I bet it's more than $200 a month that we're paying just to have this fiber going out there. To get rid of the router, we don't need a router out there. And then to reuse the stuff, you got a building just down the road that has all the same gear. So how do we leverage that stuff that we have at the CFC field? So this is the overview of what we thought you had to do, and I'll just give you a highlight. I'm not going to take you through the 3 different proposals, but these are all backed up with technical analysis as to how we do this. But the preferred route is between discussions between me and Andrew and Maturo. What's his name? His first name? The architect.
Mark Maturo.
Mark, yeah, is to actually put a light pole across the street from the dog park in that grassy area, which we own. There's a 50-foot easement over the top of the road. The area on the other side of the road, we own that, and we have a clear shot to this pole. You can see my cursor, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that cursor is right next to, and I'm sure you're familiar with this, Dom, that it's right next to the building that's there. And then you got a link between that light pole and the building. So all of this link exists, but this blue link doesn't. And this is the technical analysis of what that link would do. This is a unified product. And it's relatively inexpensive. It's only $300 per end. The money in this.
Yeah, we
proposal-
already used that at Lakeside.
Okay, so the money in this proposal is going under this road right here. Now, if that scares everybody, we have 2 other proposals which would not require us to go under it, but it requires pulling additional cables out to the corner of the field that you just talked about. Again, in the interest of time, since I'd like to get out of this meeting as quickly as possible, I will not go through those other 2 proposals, but
We can
there are.
discuss it at
Right.
Artisan, if you like.
Right, and we can go through them, and this gives you time to prepare. If you disagree, you can, get your facts together. But I'm pretty confident that this link is going to do the job. I've been running another similar link to this for about 5 years in places where it snows like crazy and it gets 100 degrees in the summer, and it has never, ever gone down, not even once. And it's used as a part of their daily business. So these links are very reliable. I'm not worried about it. And this analysis tool even takes into consideration rainfall, which I'm not going to take you through right now, but I've actually done a rainfall. This link will handle up to 2 inches per hour rainfall, and in which case it'll go to the 5 gigahertz backup. So anyway, we would like to put this on the table and get rid of all of the stuff in that box, except for a switch. And we would have to get a hardened switch, something that would go to 60 degrees C. And there are switches that go to 70 degrees C out there. 60 degrees, just to calibrate people that don't know what the converter, that'd be 140 degrees Fahrenheit. And then they can live in that box just fine. So we can talk about this in Artisan, but Andrew and I have been working on this very hard for the past couple of weeks. And this is the kind of thing the technology committee should be doing.
You mean regular boring stuff?
Yeah. Or we could talk about.
Tom likes that stuff. I like the other stuff because Tom does.
Yeah. I would much
Just
rather
fun
talk
stuff.
about the emails. Anyway, so yes, I will not be back until next week. So of course I'd like to participate, of course. If you want to talk about this, Dom, let's set it up for next week sometime.
Next week, I won't be in next week. I'm on vacation.
Okay, week after that.
All right,
put
are you all in the following week after?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Daniel?
Don,
Yeah,
put
I
the
think
agenda
so.
back up.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'll send out the invite
Okay. If you
and,
get it out early.
oh, Tom, you muted yourself before you can finish your
I'm
sentence.
sorry, if we get it out early enough, we can get a space in Artisan Park where, we can have a screen and all that.
Okay, I'll send it out, tomorrow morning.
Okay.
Last thing, John, sorry, I'm taking over. Committee members reach out. Any other committees you guys talk to?
I spoke to Nikki the other day at the North Village pool, and two other people, staff were there. I asked her about, is she aware of the digital passes? And I think she told me she wasn't. Again, one of my really good friends is on the rec committee. So at least that's the only one. I mean, Breck should really be organizing us instead of us doing stuff individually. But I just at least wanted to share that I have been talking to the rec committee.
Okay.
And what's the
And
last one?
anything's come out of it? Any other?
No,
any-
I just wanted to let them know about the digital passes now, being live and, because Mayberry does go in there and ask for ID. If
Yep.
you're in the pool, on the volleyball court, on the basketball court, right?
Yeah, we're gonna work with them to, because Nikki asked me, just actually yesterday. We're gonna train her staff and Mayberry on how to use the mobile reader using your phone, which is the mobile command center on your phone. They will have spot checking abilities. So that's the only thing they can do is spot check. And sadly, 99% of the cards are not readable by mobile readers. The only cards are available to be read are the new
Digital.
EV3 cards with the new design and the digital cards. That's it.
Well, at least the physical cards have pictures on it. So if somebody shows the card, unless it's a child with their parents' card, but.
Yeah, and just so you guys are aware, we've been hearing from the Parks and Rec committee Parks and Rec team that people are getting wise and they're photocopying other people's IDs and laminating it onto other IDs. And they're taking photo shots of these IDs and just changing the pictures on them to their faces, even though it's someone else's name.
That's why we should go digital completely.
Yeah, right. We've seen that. We've seen that before. That's not new.
Yeah,
we
so
did.
it's happening more and more now.
Okay, along those lines, I don't want to get into operational issues. This is not our charter here in this committee. I'm just going to ask you to follow up on, there was two parts to the email I sent you about the Artisan Park controller. You addressed the first one. The second one is, as you just mentioned, Bill needs to have a reader, because as people are showing up now with their phone, he has no way to verify that they're residents. They pull out their phone and they show him a phone. And as you've seen, pardon me?
Yeah, understood.
Yes.
Monday, tomorrow they should be there. And then for Bill, I will have to go talk to him and show him how to use the reader.
Tom, I mean, because the artisan credentials are tied to the Crower ID? Is that why?
Yes,
Okay.
they're the same credential. They're the same credential, but now what's happening is,
Yeah.
if you go look at the log file, you find out a lot of the people that are getting the mobile credential are actually Artisan residents, because they go in and out a lot. If a person shows up with his phone now, Bill has no way to authenticate them instead, other than to say, let me see your driver's license,
How many
which we
lives?
don't really want to do.
I don't know if you guys want to know how much was sold.
Yeah, that's my question.
Oh, sorry. The amount that was sold from yesterday's count was 39.
Is that more than email addresses on celebration.fl.us? I'm just asking as a concerned
Yes.
citizen.
Yes.
So did you send out a communication about how they can get these digital cards?
Yes, they
Stirring
are
the
sent
pot.
out on every Friday. I don't know if it's every Friday, but I know it was sent out on Friday Flash and Monday Matters.
I will say, Dom, that Tom texted me, hey, we finally got it live. And I read, it's like the principles of email, right? When you have something buried halfway down an email, people don't read it.
Mhm.
it was buried halfway down and I didn't see it. So
I told Tom that I need to wear a sandwich board and walk around town, and that'll
I
tell
would do a
people.
separate, I would do a separate email out to every single resident and just say in the headline, digital IDs available, and I bet that number would quadruple in a week.
Just
And then
post
again,
that
when the
on
snowbirds
Back
get
Porch on
back.
Facebook.
Say that, Daniel? Oh,
Just post on Facebook. I
yeah.
think
I
that's
posted,
the best.
I already did that. I posted
Oh,
it
did?
on Facebook with a huge Gallagher icon, and I don't,
Oh.
I got a few people that,
Yeah.
gave me a thumbs up, but
One
that's
thing
about
I
it.
should tell you, last weekend I was in the East Village pool, and my friend used his regular card to open the gate, and then there's one door, I think, that has all the cables, and I'm not sure if there's any routers or anything, but the regular cards are being opened by this door is being opened by that kind of card. So I would check the the profile or security that you have, so that those doors are not opened by regular residents. I don't know
Okay,
if that's
thank you for
supposed to
letting me
be
know
like
that.
that, but yeah,
And this is, you said East Village.
it's Village Pool. Yeah,
I will definitely look at that.
yeah, and I would check other places like that as well, just to make sure.
And before we close, I met with a few people. I'm just saying this is hearsay, but I was told that there was never anywhere in writing where it says residents got an email address. Obviously, they were given out, but I've been told that was not part of any package or any amenity that was promised originally as part of your dues. So I just don't know if that's true or not. It just seems like there's two sets of information being passed around.
When I came in, they gave me one.
They did, and they told you it's
Yeah.
part of it. Okay.
Well, they didn't, I don't know if, they said
Right.
so much that I don't know what they said, but I know that I had it, both my wife and I were issued celebration.fl email addresses.
Right.
US.
I just think there's a little bit of a difference if it's part of what you're promised or just a luxury that it was there if you wanted it. But there's so few, Bill. I mean, I don't know. I think
But in the end, there was a decision by a board in the past, and the people that wanted to keep it signed an agreement. So,
Yeah.
I mean, no matter what has been is what should be driving the conversation.
Agreed. Yeah. So, okay, we're 2 minutes over. Do I have a second to end?
Second.